Absolutely.
Very good.
Okay. Yeah. So I sent you my notes. So if you guys lose me, sorry, I have poor connection here. Um, but I sent Nicole my notes, so she should be able to pick up where I leave off if you guys lose me. Okay. So I kind of want to talk today a little bit about content creation and kind of how you're putting content out to people and how it's oh, we got to mute somebody. Can you do that, Nicole?
I gotta see who it is.
This is Jessie. Actually, this is the girl that wants to room with me.
You guys all got to make sure you're muted.
I muted everyone now, I think. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so basically what I want to talk about today is there's a lot of chat about how the algorithm of social media goes. So social media, Instagram is probably one of my expert areas that I work on the most. I do a ton of research on Instagram and algorithm because a lot of people have this misconception that you need to post every single day to keep your algorithm up so that people are seeing you and so that people on your feed are seeing you, other people are seeing you. But how it works now that Instagram has changed from showing likes and all of that kind of stuff, you actually don't need to post as much. It's more about the quality of your work than the quantity. So a lot of times when we're posting like a ton of content, we kind of are overwhelmed because we're like, oh, I need to post every single day. So 7 days a week, I need to have some content. So we're kind of sometimes getting in this situation where we're posting stuff that's not quality. And how social media works is it's all an energy exchange. So social media, the first thing that they're going to see before they even have a conversation with you is your material. So if you're not putting out a good quality photo with a really awesome caption that's like very
We may have lost her already. Okay, I think we actually did lose her. So I can probably elaborate on where she was going with that. She sent me her notes, but exactly what she's saying. You definitely want to do quality over quantity when it comes to posting. She just messaged me, so maybe I'll go into my part, and if she can come back on, then that would be awesome too. But so basically what she's saying is, and she has a really great Instagram following, so if you don't follow her already, check her out because she's built a really good organic following already. But definitely quality over quantity. Don't get so overwhelmed with, just putting stuff out there and forgetting to, have good quality photos and have like a theme mapped out for what you're going to say, right? So when I first started, I did post 3 times a day, and that was overwhelming a little bit to begin with. I know there's some new people on here right now who are probably just getting into that as well. So when you're trying to get your page seasoned and you are posting 3 times a day, I just want to say like that quality over quantity thing, yes, it matters, but don't beat yourself up and get too stressed out either because you just want to be getting your page seasoned. So posting in that time frame, it's important to put stuff out there. You still want to have quality. A good way to do that is by just doing like some nice simple quotes and stuff like that, or some travel photos, or even sharing some videos like on things that you're interested in. But once you get your pages running and stuff like that, you definitely want to be thinking quality over quantity. So I'm just going to look at some of my notes here. So I want to talk about a few things that I find to be helpful, especially with, first I'm going to talk about creating pods on Instagram. I'm not sure if you guys have done that before, but I'm in a couple pod groups, and I find that to be super helpful, especially if you are just getting used to posting on Instagram and you are trying to engage with your audience and you don't want to hear crickets. I know it can be like a little bit intimidating because what you want to learn to start doing is asking your audience questions and trying to engage that way. But when you don't have a big audience yet, I know for me, I would feel kind of silly, like, or nervous, like, well, what if I ask them a question and then nobody responds, right? And then everyone's going to see that no one's engaging. And for one, you just can't really, you just have to trust that it's going to grow. But pods are a really great way to get that initial listening so that it isn't so intimidating. You know that you're going to have people, that are going to be commenting on your stuff. So what an Instagram pod is, if you guys haven't seen one before, it's where you just are in a group with people. Like I have one within the ACE community that I have about 10 people in there, and we all we have like a little set of rules to follow, and I'll just go over them. So what we do is we all are on a messaging group, and we're allowed to put one post in there per day, and then you have to follow everybody that's in that group. So we all follow each other. And then whenever one of those people comments, we like, comment, and save whatever they post. And so we contribute every day, even if you don't post. So you always want to go in and check in and make sure that you're actually seasoning those people's Instagram posts. You don't want to have like a group of like way too many people, because then you spend a lot of time just seasoning. But like a group of 10 works really well. And another thing is you always want to comment more than 5 words when you're posting on Instagram, because if you actually comment less than that, you're actually lowering people's algorithm. And when people comment less than 5 words on your photos, that actually lowers the algorithm as well. And some other things to be mindful of as well is that Instagram actually can tell how long people are spending on your page. So if you have a big long post and people aren't spending a lot of time reading that post, that actually lowers your algorithm as well. So it's actually tracking how long people are spending on your post, how many words they're writing, and that exchange. So the more that you can get that engagement, the better your algorithm will be, meaning that your post will just be seen by more people. So it's always best to get comments on your photos within the first 15 minutes of posting. I mean, like, sometimes you just can't control that, but just a little note. And then when you're in these pods and when you're in these groups, you actually have to be careful that you don't, like the way that you share your posts with each other. So in my pod, what we do is we just do 2 emojis that are the same, and that's how we notify the group. Because if you say new post, Instagram can actually tell that you are, it can actually sense the activity that you're making in these pods, and it'll actually, it can have some negative effects too. So you kind of have to outsmart Instagram in that way and be discreet with them. And so you don't want to be saying anything like new post or like anything like that. So we don't really do any chatting in our pod. We just do the 2 emojis, and then that's how we know. And it's a great way to just start building your algorithm and getting some actual seasoning on some of your posts, so that you can kind of play around and not be worried that you're just gonna hear crickets when you're playing around with things. So that was one thing I wanted to touch on. It's just something that we've been doing that seems to be working well. I wrote this because I wrote this about 2 weeks ago, and I was gonna talk about ManyChat, but I'm hearing that not everyone is wanting to use ManyChat anymore. I know David Wilkinson did a call, and he had his actual Facebook page shut down because of ManyChat, because he wasn't giving people the option to unsubscribe, and he was doing ManyChat blasts like every single day. So I know some people still are using it. I still use it, and so I will give some tips for that. So one thing that I was doing was I was doing ManyChats every 3 days or every second day, and I was doing them at least once a week, or a couple times a week. And I've been doing that for quite a few months, and I was having really great results with buyers. I found that most of my buyers were coming from my ManyChat, like hands down. I would say like 95% of my buyers came from a ManyChat post. So rarely, I think maybe I've had like 1 or 2 buyers ever from just the first interaction, but every other buyer I've ever had has been through ManyChat. So what I was doing was just sending out content on ManyChat Videos is what I was doing, just a short little video. You can actually, some people don't realize that you can do a video that's longer than 60 seconds on ManyChat, but there's an app called Compress, Video Compress, and you can actually do as long a video as you want, as long as you compress it down to 23 megabytes. And if any of you guys have questions about that, I'll show you a picture of the app and stuff. You can reach out to me. So that was great. And I was that was really gaining momentum in my business. But it was getting really stressful because I found that I'm trying to post on social media every day, and then I'm trying to come up with content for ManyChat, and it was starting to get really like a lot of stuff to do all the time. And so what I realized is with ManyChat, you can recycle all of your content and all of your videos. So I had probably like 30 to 50 posts in my ManyChat that I've sent out over the last few months. And I was creating new stuff every week. So what you can do is you can target in ManyChat. You can send out, like, say, your first ManyChat blast that you ever did. Like, it wouldn't have reached anyone past that date that you first sent it. So what I have been doing now, I'm not creating any new content on ManyChat. I am just going through and sending out all of my posts to the people who didn't get them. So like maybe once a week or so, and then maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks, create a brand new post that you can just fire off to your whole list. But once you kind of build up those sequences, then you don't have to worry about creating new content all the time. But then it got me really thinking that you could actually really use ManyChat similar to an email sequence, like when somebody opts in with like Aweber or something. If you came up with like 7 posts or 5 posts, you could do a sequence like that, so you don't have to keep creating new content. So I still think ManyChat is good, but just be very cautious because you don't want to have your also, I don't know if you guys have been through the DPL training yet, but I went through their like ninja training on Messenger, and all of you guys who haven't been through that, you should definitely look at it because they have some really awesome ways of following up with leads and with content. So you can actually flag your leads and keep track of them in there. If you want to send follow-ups through Facebook instead of ManyChat, they actually do a training on how to do that and how to organize it so you can keep track of all of your people. So that is really helpful. I just watched it actually this morning, and I'm going to be using it because it was really good stuff. So that was what I wrote for ManyChat. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about just Instagram and Facebook posting and content creation in general. So what I find is the most effective way to create good content consistently, like she's saying, quality over quantity, and not be stressed out all the time, like feeling like, oh my gosh, I haven't posted to Instagram today or whatever, is picking a day of the week that you can actually create content. So I like to use Mondays and picking, like, saying that you're gonna pick 3 photos to edit on Monday, and you're gonna do 3 write-ups. So like one can be like a caption, one can be something longer, one can be something shorter, whatever. Like you don't need to do like a bunch of huge paragraphs, but just actually plan on a Monday or a Sunday or whatever day works for you to edit 3 photos and come up with 3 pieces of content. And what that does is it makes the whole, like she's saying, you don't have to post every day unless you're comfortable with that. But if you do that, then you know for the week you have 3 posts already. So like that lets you get into the week with so much less to worry about than trying to be like, shoot, I need to have something that's Instagram worthy. And so that has been so helpful for me. And what a really good thing to do when you're doing that is listen to something inspiring, like actually plan to do it. So put on an inspiring podcast and take a couple notes, and you will write 3 pieces of content so easily. Like it just works really well. And then the rest of the week, if you have something inspiring that comes to mind when you're driving or whatever, because ideas pop into our heads, just do a voice note or write it down, and then you know that you can just use that on Monday and then plan your content. So you know you always are going to be posting that many times a week. And then when you get in the hang of it, you can add maybe another day where you create 2 more pieces of content. So I found that to be really helpful, and it takes a lot of stress off of just thinking of posting. And then you can focus more on just being in your stories. And because stories are where, like, I don't know about you guys, but I am always watching stories. I rarely consume people's actual content now, their posts as much. So being in your stories is really great, and not feeling like, you know, you've got a million things to do each day helps to really organize that. So I spend a lot of time on my stories, and then I try to do my posts at least 3 times a week. So that was my tips for that. And I'm just looking through my notes. Yeah, and another thing to be mindful of, like, I'm sure you guys have all heard this before, but, you know, pick, you know, a third of what your content is gonna look like. So that's what's also really good about creating 3 posts on whatever day you choose, because you can pick one that is like, you know, you want something fun and entertaining. You either want to be humorous or something exciting you did or something interesting. And then pick another post that is either providing value, education, or giving you authority. So you're giving your audience something. And then the other third is going to be like a business testimonial, something about how this business has changed your life, something business related. So that you're giving variety in your content. And so that's a good thing to stick to, but like, if you want to do more fun and entertainment, and like, then that's okay. You know, you just don't want to be all business. So if you want to just do 2 entertaining posts, then whatever, that's fine, right? So do that. And then when you have a day for creating content like that, you also want to have a day for taking photos and batch collecting photos. So 1 day a week, like my husband and I love to use the weekend to do that. So either on a Friday, because our daughter's in school, we'll go out, the 2 of us, and try and get some photos doing a few things. And then on the weekend, we take pictures all weekend. We don't worry about posting because we already have a day that we know we're gonna post. And we just take lots of photos and have a lot of fun. And then we can edit our photos on that day that we've selected to do that. So that's a really good way to organize. I don't know who's unmuted. There we go. So that's a really good way to kind of organize it. And then, yeah, just always be taking pictures. Like, and another thing that's really important is, well, there's a couple. So getting clear on 3 things that you want to also be known for. And they can be super broad, but like, you want to have some organization to your to what you post, right? So for me, I have a couple categories that I generally post into. I like healthy food, healthy activities. I'm a mom, and I'm really like involved in being a mom. I love posting my daughter. I know they say no one wants to see your kids all day, but like, I post my daughter, and you know, I think that that's a great way to connect. Like, if she's doing something cute, like, she's a big part of my Instagram. And then freedom and travel. So those are my categories. They're super broad, but they keep things focused. Like, I'm not gonna really talk about, I'm not gonna veer too far off from there because that's just too broad. But if it's healthy, you know, healthy activities, healthy food, my daughter, or freedom and travel, like, I'm gonna post about it. And so then just some tips on being on your stories, just little glimpses into your life. Like, I like to really build things up. So don't just post like when you get somewhere. Like, I'll even post like, I'm just about to drop Nyla off at school today, and I'll do a little post before I drop her off on my stories. And then when I get home, I do that as well. And just checking in. Like, you don't have to be doing anything too exciting. It's just a really great way to start to learn, get your audience to know who you are. Like, David Wilkinson is great at it. It's funny because when I've gone on calls with him, I literally felt like I knew him before he ever knew me. And that's because he literally posts everything about what he's doing. And I felt so comfortable talking to him. And I thought it's so weird that he doesn't know who I am, but I feel like I know so much about him. And like, that's a really great way to make your audience feel comfortable with you and get to know you. So you might think that, you know, people don't care about what you're doing, but it's just a great way to let people know what you're up to. You don't have to come up with something clever every time. Just do little check-ins and let people know what you're doing, because that's going to just make people start to feel like they know you. And then one more thing I just wanted to mention about content is being mindful of your background. So when you take photos, try not to take photos in a really busy background, or in, like, if you've got a lot of clutter, like try to get against like a wall or a door, or, you know, when you're out, if you see something, like try to be mindful that your pictures aren't just really busy and you're not getting lost in them, because that actually can be so effective and makes your photos stand out so much. Sometimes I feel like people don't really notice that they have a bunch of clutter in the background, but it really is distracting. And so if you get used to just looking at things when you're out, if you see a plain wall, if you see a bright color, if you see a nice painting, stand in front of it and take a photo. That's the easiest way. And just try to make sure that there's not a bunch of other stuff going on, because it just lowers the quality of your photo. And yeah, especially for Instagram, because Instagram is a visual platform, so you do have to be mindful of that. And that is pretty much all that I've written about content creation. And just don't let it be all consuming. Don't let it be stressful, and, you know, just try to let it come naturally, and don't make it a stressful thing. If you don't want to post 3 times a week, start with posting 2 times a week. Like, just get into the habit of picking a day to create actually good content, and then just don't stress about all these things that you have to do with it. You know what I mean? Just get in the habit of, you know, picking days to make that good content, and then just slowly increasing the amount that you're going to be posting, and then spend those other days gaining knowledge and really empowering yourself, and getting on a really high vibe level, so that you can create good content when those days come that you're going to sit down and actually put a little bit of work into it. So that is what I wrote. I don't know if you guys have any questions around that. I'm just gonna look in the chat. I don't think Jessie came back, so I think she totally lost her internet. Yeah, Brittany, if you go watch Melissa, I think she already left. So yeah, I'm recording this, so I'll repost it. I want to use ManyChat. I couldn't find the app. So Kathy, okay, it's not an app. It is, you just have to go to your browser, and it's a web page. So it's manychat.com, and there is training on how to set that up. Oh, the app for video compressor. So it looks like, oh, I don't have it on my phone right now because I just got a new phone. It's an orange app, and it's called Video Compress. I think I have a picture of it, actually. Yeah, it's called Video Compress, not compressor. I took a photo of it I've actually taken one for Colin Kobza and David Wilkinson, because both of them didn't realize that you could do longer videos. They're like, how are you doing that? So, okay, this is what it looks like. I don't think you guys can probably see it. So it's called Video Compress. I'll put it in, I can send it to you in a message. Video Compress. No, the app for Video Compress. You're welcome, Kathy. With Instagram Pod, did you say you like, comment, and save? Yes. So you want to like, comment, and save. When your post gets saved, then it actually boosts your algorithm. So it's super awesome. Like how I created the group is I'm actually, I had somebody reach out to me that's a photographer, and she created this group for a bunch of small business owners around Fraser Valley, where I'm originally from. And she invited me to this, and it was working really well. So I asked some people in the ACE community if they'd be interested. And I said I wanted like maybe 10 people. And then that's how we did it. And so I started with like 4 or 5 people, and then they asked if someone else could join. And I want to keep it kind of around that many, because otherwise it is overwhelming. With the other one I'm in, there's like close to 20 girls now, and I find that it's a lot of time having to go and comment. So if you guys want to create a pod, then reach out to a couple other people and then just start doing it that way, and keep it around maybe 10 or 15 people. Video comment. And sorry, can you keep explaining ManyChat? Yeah, so with ManyChat, what do you want me to explain about it? Do you understand what ManyChat is, or do you want me to talk more about the content that I'm putting out on ManyChat, or how it works? Dawn, just let me know. Okay. How it works, how it's set up. Okay. So you basically just, you type it into your web browser, you make an account, it will link to your business Facebook. And then what's really, really great about it is you will be able to collect all of your people that comment on your ad. So it'll compile them all into a list, and then it'll build your ManyChat list. So you'll have access to group messaging all of those people. So the sooner you set it up, the sooner you're going to have people added to it, because if you don't set it up, you don't get any of your old people that commented. You only get the ones from the time you set it up forward. So once you start building that list, like I think my list is over 500 people, it's great because you can continue to just keep blasting them with content. So what you do is you basically, you go to I forget what it's called. You can go, I think Safa and Abbas do a training in the ACE back office, but you go to where you create content in there, and you can basically do a broadcast is what it's called, and you can do a video or a little story or whatever you want, like typing. I usually do a video and a little bit of typing, and I always give them the option to unsubscribe. That's what happened with David, and that's why he got into trouble, is because people were reporting him because he didn't know that you could give an option to unsubscribe. So make sure that you give them an option to unsubscribe. I always say, like, unsubscribe anytime, and then basically what you do is, like, just come up with something inspiring. Like, I will usually try and do something based around getting people out of their comfort zones, starting an online business, just like talking about, I've done an income claim. Like when I had my biggest month, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened. Like, you want to do things that are going to excite people, and you want to do things that are going to empower people and uplift them. So even like doing affirmations, I've done that, where I'm like, I'm going to read you guys my affirmations today. And mixing it up, but you definitely want to do some call to actions in there. At first I was doing a ton of value, which is great, but David Wilkinson was telling me, like, you really need to ask for people to buy into the platform. Like, you got to ask for those sales. So I got a little bit more geared towards that, and it was super, super effective for me. So definitely just try and do, like, maybe do 2 a week or something like that. And as your ManyChat list starts to build, it's great because when people don't respond to you, if you send out a webinar or a video to them, then you can, they will just get one of your ManyChats. I've had people buy from me that never responded to me once, and like 2 months later, off of a ManyChat, they were like, okay, can I sign up? I'm ready. And it's like, wow, okay, you never responded to one of my messages, and here we are. So it's a good tool for getting in front of people without following up, like, by kind of like annoying them, right? But that being said, I would definitely check out like I was saying, the DGL Ninja Tips or whatever it is in their training, because they have some really awesome follow-up. They have a really good follow-up training, and I'm going to start implementing some of that too, because I think that I think I could be a little bit more persistent in my follow-up as well. So that is good. Does that kind of give you an idea of what ManyChat is? just say yes in the chat if you guys have more of an idea. And then I would just suggest going and watching Safa and Abbas's training in the ACE back office. And then you just communicate. That's awesome. I'm getting messages on Facebook about interest messages. Great to keep it organized. Yeah, it is. I'm actually going to be kicked out of here. It looks like in 6 minutes because I haven't upgraded my my Zoom. So so I have 5 minutes to kind of wrap it up. I think that Melissa's probably still doing her other call. So I'm just reading your question, Laura. You asked. You just communicate your emojis through DM on Insta. You can unmute yourself for a second. I don't understand the question. Or you can type it. So that's awesome. Yeah. How is
Sorry,
it?
my mouse had like quit working, so it wouldn't move. Basically, I just was wondering if you guys chat through Instagram, like Messenger, DM. Is that how your pod, like, is that where you put your emojis when you say you've posted?
Yes. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
exactly what I do. And it's a group, and then I'll show you kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I just do 2 emojis, and then that's how we know. And then when someone puts their emojis, you go to their profile and click on their last post. So
Does everybody always post the same emojis, or each person has their own, or?
well, we just kind of depends on what your we don't do any chatting in that group. We really just put emojis when we post it. So if I did like, a post that I'm at the beach, I'll put 2 waves, or if you know what I mean. We just kind of
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it doesn't have to be the same. And then this is what it looks like. So you guys probably aren't gonna be able to see.
No. And so you did your organizing of it in a separate chat and then just created that after?
Yeah, what I did is I found people that I talked to on Instagram, like they're not my downline or anything like that. And this was a few months ago. And I just said, hey, I want to grow my Instagram. Are you guys interested in doing a seasoning group with me? And if you are, like, no worries either way. But if you are, we got to contribute and let me know. And everyone who was interested, I put us all in a group together.
Cool. Okay. I'm just asking it because I want to make sure that there's no like red flags, because I was actually surprised that even if you would have wrote in a message that you had a new post or whatever, that Instagram knows that. So thank you for clarifying.
I was surprised with that too, and I did quite a bit of research on it, and yeah, you do have to be careful. So that seems to be the safest way. Some people share their posts into the group, but I've heard that that's not good. So you can either take a picture of your post and do that, but you shouldn't just share your post into the group, because you can do that. It allows you to, but apparently Instagram will pick up on those patterns, and it can penalize you for that. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions? Because I have less than 3 minutes here. How is everything going for everybody? Good? Good. Well, I have so many things that I would love to chat with everybody about, but today was content creation. But I just want to say, like, if anybody has anything that they are looking for help on with their business, I have created a lot of videos. I have my own group as well on things that have been really helpful. I would say my biggest strength is in writing story ads and getting story ads to convert. I've never had anybody in my downline not have a good converting ad that I've help them with, and they're all getting comments under $5 with their first ads that they've written. So we're having a lot of success with that. We seem to be having a little bit of a system that's working. So if anybody needs help with that sort of thing too, then reach out to me, and I can help you guys with that too. So reach out to me privately. But I'm gonna get kicked off of here, so I will just say thank you for being here and listening, and I hope everybody has an awesome night. Okay, take care, you guys. Message me on Facebook. Nicole Penner. Yeah, message me on Facebook. Okay, have an awesome night, you guys. Bye-bye.